courts. You say, hey, when there's a problem, you call a man. The Democrats can't even tell you what a man is.
So when you hear Walz brag about how much of a man he is, what does that tell you?
I think there might be a little bit of a cope there, you could say. There's a little bit, he has to remind us how masculine he is, trying to not even be able to load a shotgun or...
We were getting scary close to people justifying totalitarian measures.
I think we need to push back on this.
Tim Walz in the campaign trail was literally saying free speech doesn't include hate speech and misinformation.
There's no guarantee to free speech on misinformation or hate speech, and especially around our democracy.
He meant you. Because everything that we called misinformation just a few years ago, it's on the front page of the New York Times.
Now, fasten your seatbelts because we are about to go on a turbulent journey through the controversies surrounding Governor Tim Walz of Minnesota. He's been receiving a lot of criticism lately, particularly from podcast heavyweights Joe Rogan and Charlie Kirk. Did he say?
Did he say he could fight any Trump supporter?
Yeah, he says he'd kick their ass and they're scared of him because he could fix a truck. Because they're threatened by his masculinity. I know how to fix a truck. So he said, like, do you? I bet you don't.
The lady doth protest too much.
I bet you don't.
I fear.
I bet if I bring a broken truck to you and a bag of tools, you're
These two, they don't hold back. Instead, they go right in, analyzing every aspect of Walz's past in a discussion that is equal parts enlightening and ferocious. The worst part is that Walz's actions on matters such as public safety and free speech are being scrutinized, and the findings are, to put it mildly, unflattering. There's
this video of Tim Walz doing the exact same thing.
Right.
Exact same thing, and
Yes.
he said, of course, it's a Nazi salute. He said that.
Right.
We spent 3 days debating, having them trying to debate that President Musk gave a Nazi salute. Of course he did. But that is a distraction.
This is how crazy things have gotten. Like,
apparently, what Rogan and Kirk observed doesn't impress them. Have you watched that video before? No.
have you ever seen that video?
No.
This is what people love about Donald Trump. The fact that he would say this.
But unfortunately, Governor Walz isn't here himself, but don't worry, he'll say that he was. He's going to say he was. I used to think the Democrats were crazy for saying that men have period, but then I met Tim.
When you hear them dissecting it, you may actually question how Walz's choices have been the subject of such dispute for such a long time. He was absolutely correct about Tim Walz.
Right, with Tim Walz.
I know I'm doing something right when the Fox News crowd is all bitching at me like crazy. Like, I'm loving it.
That guy was almost the vice president of the United States.
Elon Musk was crying last week. Tim is being mean to me, you know, like, yeah.
I'm sure you've seen that thing where it shows Obama saying,
From pandemic errors to perhaps subpar economic strategies, it's evident that this isn't merely light-hearted criticism but rather tearing apart a dubious film plot. Come on, were bumper sticker slogans really all that was included in the leadership playbook? Anyway, wait until you reach the section where public annoyance explodes if the confusion surrounding Walz's answers isn't enough to attract your attention. I promise you won't want to miss this, so please click the subscribe button. Your support is really what keeps the fire burning here, so I hope you're ready for more exciting episodes to come. Furthermore, who wants to watch all of this drama play out? Overview of the conflict now. Let's get to the crux of the issue, which is Joe Rogan and Charlie Kirk's heated altercation with Minnesota Governor Tim Walz. To be honest, you can be sure that fireworks will erupt when these two agree on a subject. This was no different. How about we begin with Rogan? Walz versus Rogan. For many people who feel that people in their ivory towers are ignoring their daily hardships, Rogan has sort of taken on the role of spokesperson. Together with her, they bring in this other crazy Minnesota man.
they bring in her and they bring in this other guy who's radical from Minnesota. That's the vice president, who he believes a lot of wild things. One of them is transgender surgery for people who are under 13. Another one is abortion up until 9 months.
Ooh.
Yeah. He changed the Minnesota state flag to make it look like a Somali flag. That stuff scares the...
His dissatisfaction with Walz begins with the way the governor has handled the outbreak. Was simply strange, and how preventable it was.
It's just weird and how avoidable it was.
100% avoidable, but pathological liars, people
Yeah.
that are habitual liars, they just lie all the time.
You know, There are times when Walz's use of those emergency powers makes you think he's trying out for the next great political drama series. In actuality, though, was it more control-driven or related to public safety? It's like watching someone pick holes in a falling ship when Rogan finally finds the information he seeks. For example, the shutdowns. Larger merchants were unaffected, but bars, gyms, and small companies took the brunt of it. Odd decisions, don't you think? Rogan doesn't accept this. He draws attention to the obvious. How could this virus damage small businesses while magically avoiding the big box retailers? When
they decided that JD Vance was weird.
Yeah.
Remember that one?
And then they just weirds everywhere.
Weird. Oh, you don't want a weird guy. Meanwhile, you have Tim Walz is your
super
VP. You don't think that guy's weird? He's weird in every way.
Yeah.
The way he walks, the way he waves his hands.
Yeah, he reminds me of the clown emoji.
He's a bizarre guy.
He's a strange dude.
I just don't
Gives you the
understand why
willies,
they made
actually.
that choice.
Yeah, it gives the creep.
I just don't understand why they made that choice. There's a lot of other people that are qualified. I don't know why. I read that Kamala Harris made that.
And that's only the very beginning. Kirk's analysis of the economy, Charlie Kirk, on the other hand, is a sharpshooter who is poised to seize economic mismanagement like a hawk detecting prey. I believe it's a
Podcast with Newsom. Why don't you throw the pigskin with Walz? What do you say?
I think it's a great idea. I'll fly on up to Minneapolis. We'll see what it's all about, Governor Walz. You're Mr. Coach. You're the one that can.
Like, exactly what was the plan? Under Walz, Kirk portrays Minnesota's corporate environment as more of a suspenseful drama than a booming economy, with companies barely surviving and investors reportedly fleeing. Consider that in this economic drama, companies are the bad guys. That's how Kirk characterizes Walz's strategy. Minnesota was mired in a murky swamp of press conferences about climate justice and other distractions, while other states were recovering, reopening, and, genuinely promoting growth. Leadership's chaos, it gets juicier. So let's not stop there. Kirk describes the mayhem that took place during the George Floyd riots with an all-too-knowing smile. He considers them not just a tragedy but also a scandal in the leadership of public safety, or perhaps more accurately, the complete absence of it.
I think it would be very similar to Barack Obama throwing a baseball. I don't think it would be a sight that would be easy on the eyes. That's right, I could throw quite a tight spiral. Hey, Governor Walz, let's go have a game of catch. We'll see.
Walz's reaction lacked decisiveness and was more akin to an unbalanced symphony, with no harmony and only cacophony. Law enforcement faces difficulties because, under Walz, Minnesota appeared to veer towards becoming a peculiar form of progressive social experiment, leaving public safety and police morale at jeopardy. Local streets, according to Kirk, felt more like playgrounds where regulations were created based on memes than on substantive action. Did Walz take charge during these pivotal times? That is debatable. Kirk puts it simply: Walz hesitated, lost opportunities, and perhaps misjudged the importance of his own duties instead of taking initiative and leading. A recurring issue in all of this criticism is Walz's seeming fondness for top-down management and somewhat simplistic governance. Whether it's Joe's disbelieving inquiries or Charlie's scathing critique, it's obvious that the residents weren't pleased. When leadership is thought to be confined to echo chambers, it is difficult to feel heard. Learning under Walz, but hold on, Kirk isn't letting Walz off the hook either. Many people find this to be a personal annoyance, don't they? Instead of providing real instruction, Walz's administration turned schools into a bureaucratic parallel universe. Despite the lowest math and reading results, diversity officers and new training materials nevertheless increased dramatically. You can see what's going to happen next, but the effort seems completely out of place, like when you watch someone replace the deck chairs on the Titanic. Did Walz even notice, then, if schooling suffered? Kirk speculates on Walz's motivations, pointing out that leaders attempted to concentrate on broad, sentimental ideological shifts rather than confronting the academic decline directly. Perhaps, just possibly, it was more about leaving a legacy of jargon than it was about learning. However, Rogan repeatedly returns to the idea of illusion versus reality. How can one man run an entire state like a never-ending press conference? Rogan observes incredulously, wondering how the governor sees himself. Is he persuaded by his own statements from the stage, or is there a reflection that we are all blind to behind closed curtains? And it all has a really unnerving quality, doesn't it? Rogan's findings reveal a common skepticism that goes beyond simple amusement. They believe that supporting the right people, not simply on social media, is more important than following trends. It concerns actual people dealing with actual repercussions. Before it appears like we're adding insult to injury, let's at least admit that Tim Walz and Minnesota are not the only ones who have made strategic errors. For the locals, however, the practical consequences have been anything but theoretical. And a well-written press release can't resolve that, can it? Let's get back to you now. What do you think? Is there a particular aspect of this story that you find particularly moving? Suffer from cognitive deterioration.
Of cognitive decline problems at his age, but at her age, she's just dumb.
Yeah, Biden, I think I was saying that I need a vice president dumber than me.
Great. Kamala Harris may be the dumbest person ever elected vice president in American history.
It's Kamala saying I need a vice president dumber than me. It's Walz. Men have tampons.
We have a lot of accomplishment. We haven't taken adequate credit for it, frankly. We got to do a better job of getting the word out about what we have accomplished and who did it.
You got to lose because we got to break this.
Perhaps it's the way the economy was built up, the leadership style used during the pandemic, or the way education changed into a political chessboard. Whatever it is, please share your thoughts with me in the comments section below, and we can start a conversation. Really, what do you think may be the next topic to add some flavor to this place?